Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And we got to talk about, I'm here doing a live. This is Sunday. It's supposed to be the day that the Lord rested on the seventh day. Coming to you straight out of St. Louis, Missouri, where yesterday on March 28th here in St. Louis has one of the most depressing downtowns of any major city in America. But it was busy. You had the St. Louis Battlehawks that played at around 11:30 or 12 yesterday downtown. The St. Louis Cardinals played about at around 3:30 against the Tampa Bay Rays. And then at 7 p.m., you had the St. Louis Blues playing. And then there was also a concert at Stiefel Nicholas. So there were 4 events that took place in downtown St. Louis yesterday, which is fantastic. And then the night before at Enterprise Center, New Edition, Tony Braxton and Boys to Men was in town. But let's get to yesterday. This was the third major No Kings protest and mobilization that took place yesterday. There were more than 8 million people that turned out at over 3,300 events across the United States yesterday for this No Kings protest. And it's all about Trump, President Trump, and the ecosystem of emotions that he has rounded up in many people across America. This is the first time where you have these polar opposite feelings about one human being. They either love him or hate him. And you can't, it reverberates on both sides. No one's listening to the other side whatsoever. People that don't like him, they're calling it Trump derangement syndrome. Is that what it is? We know Trump loves the limelight. We know Trump is the highest level of a narcissist. He loves himself. But before I get into some of the details of Trump, we got to look at Trump's just one person. Yes, he's probably in the most public, powerful position in the world, the president of the United States. I think the most private public figure in the world is the Pope. I think the president of the United States and the Pope, they carry a lot of power. And then in some ways you have to ask yourself, which one carries the most weight? Money or power? I think it's power. I think power can give the illusion that you have a lot of money, and power can convince people to do things that you want them to do and can get you into places that other people can't get to. There are a ton of rich people that nobody knows anything about. And if you don't have the power to make a phone call, push a button, do you have power? You can have a lot of money, but that doesn't mean you have a lot of power. And no war goes on in this world without the United States of America president involved in it in some kind of way, the United Nations, and of course the Catholic Pope. And anybody and everybody that runs for political office, especially when you get to Congress, the Senate, let alone the United States president, they are definitely narcissistic, self-imposed, and are hungry for power, for sure. But what's going on with these protests? What's going on with President Trump and the people that have voted for him, the mega folks? Has the world changed? Is it better off or is it worse? Where are we at? This is this guy's second time around. You got to remember, Trump made promises of not going to war, reducing prices, and he's done the antithetical opposite of what he preached and talked about when he was running for office. And so is there some hypocrisy there? We know all politicians, at some level, you have to have a personality trait to be willing to lie in a public forum in front of thousands and millions of people without blinking an eye. We know that happens all the time. But let's look at what some of the things Trump said. He was going to be the savior for the people. He was going to return the republic back to a healthy state. The mega folks, make America great again. And has he done that? Well, you got to remember the big, beautiful bill. And for all the middle class and lower income white Southerners and white folks across America that voted for Trump, the big beautiful bill was all about cutting 25% of people off of Medicaid cuts, SNAP, cutting 20 to 25% of individuals off SNAP benefits. Well, the largest pool of individuals who have Medicaid and receive SNAP food stamp benefits are low income white folks. And so those same people that voted for him, he's cutting their fingers and their hand off that feeds them. So how does that look for the Hispanic population that voted for Trump? He went right after immigration right away and illegal immigrants, and it seemed like it targeted more people of Hispanic heritage than anybody. This is the first time I've seen in my years of living that it seems like black males and black people have a reprieve. We're at the bottom. You're not hearing a bunch of Trump bashing black folks uh, like he's done with other races of individuals. There's not a lot of reverb about black Americans, so to speak. We're not worried about getting kicked out of the country. Uh, there hasn't been a lot of black on white crime, even with white police officers and black pedestrians. You have some isolated incidences, but there's been a reprieve. You got to remember, in Minnesota, during the ICE enforcement and controversy, the two people that got killed in Minnesota was a white female and a white male. The two people that got shot in Portland um, were white individuals. Somebody asked, "What's your name?" Trevor Donald. This is called the Trevor Donald Experience. So he reduced Medicaid cuts. He's going to reduce SNAP benefits. He brought in DOGE, the Department uh, of Government Efficiency, with Elon Musk, who just recently was found out that he has a net worth of over $837 billion. He's almost at $1 trillion. Elon Musk, who was born in South Africa, not even born in America. And he has more money than the United States government. We have a $1.8 trillion deficit. Elon Musk has a net worth of $837 billion. Maybe he should loan America some money. But what Doge was all about, reducing government employees, reducing government waste. So a lot of folks lost their jobs. Here again, more white people than black or people of color. Has Trump turned his back on his base? Where are we at? We in this new war with Iran. He said we were not going to war. Now, of course, in the Biden and Kamala Harris administration, there were two wars that started out. We had the Ukraine and Russia war that nobody even talks about today anymore. What the hell is going on with that? We've given billions of dollars to support and finance that war. And then you had the war in the Gaza Strip with Israel and Hamas. You haven't heard much about that. Billions of dollars went out the door for that. It seems like we are really egregious and in a rush to fund wars, but we're not taking care of our people in America with the opioid crisis, undiagnosed mental illness, homelessness, helplessness, joblessness, gun violence, poor inner city schools. Where are we headed? We are so focused with the things that are outside of the border walls of America and not concerned about what's inside America. And how could you have a $1.8 trillion deficit? But the Pentagon wants us to find $200 million to fund this war with Iran. The United States, we have joined Israel. So Israel's got two issues going on with Hamas, Palestinians, and now with Iran. And I think this is a situation that is not going to go away anytime soon. And you got to look here again. Trump is just a puppet. Add a Q&A sticker. How do you do that? Planned or spontaneous answer. Let's try that. So I'm still trying to get used to this live stuff. And so just bear with me. But I wanted to do a live and give you my opinion with this. That protest was supposed to be the largest. The No Kings protest yesterday was the largest protest and gathering in the history of America. That's what they're saying. But here again, Trump is just one person. Nobody is talking about the people that voted for Trump. Those are in the millions that you don't see on television. That's walking down the street, that's walking downtown, that's walking right past you, that has that same ideology as Trump, that same arrogance. Some people think the same racism. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm looking at the system. It's not just Trump. Trump didn't create the United States government. Trump didn't create the office of the president. He's only going to be there for a temporary amount of time, and then it'd be somebody else. This is a system that's a white male patriarchal system. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, the same white ideology and the advancements of the white culture are going to be permeated and precipitated by that white individual. Put pressure on the people that voted for Trump, the millions. Trump's one person. And I've already talked about the ICE agents and the issues in Minnesota, Portland, Washington, D.C. Israel is fighting two wars at the same time that we're financing. We're not going to win that situation in the Middle East. Let's see how does this go. I don't know why that's on there like that. Let me see if can I get that off of there. Yeah. So anyway, we're not going to win that. You got to remember, historically, let's talk about it from a historical perspective. The Middle East has been around for well over 3,000 years. It's biblical. It's in the Bible. It's part of the Holy Land. America has been around in existence for over 200 years. You cannot win a fight when an individual, if you're going to have a fight with somebody and that person is willing to die for what they believe in, you could never beat them. We're not going to win this war in the Middle East. And why since 1990 that we keep going and having issues in the Middle East? Iraq, Iran, Desert Storm, the Gulf War. That has nothing to do with how the Middle Eastern people are treating their citizens. America doesn't care. America doesn't care about its own folks here in America. The homelessness, the opioid crisis, the pillars that I keep telling you that are breaking down the moral and ethical fabric of our society today. Our government doesn't care about the folks here. So why do we have this presumption that America is going to go save everybody else and it cannot save itself? And they will not win. We will not win the war in the Middle East. We've been doing this since 1990 at least. And guess why? The people in the Middle East, their beliefs, they're willing to die for what they believe in, is based on ideology, principle, philosophy, theology, and they have a monolithic way of thinking. America is a melting pot. You got Christians, Jews, Muslims, non-denominational, atheists, agnostics. You can't get any of these people. You can't get 10 people in a room to agree with one thing. Those folks over there believe in one ideology, one philosophy, one theology. You do have Sunni and Shiite Muslims, but it's still about Allah. and they're willing to die for it. They're living on principle and not materialism like America. We will waver at any cost by any measure. Look at it, and then were we trying to give $200 million? Here again, we're worrying about what's outside the door and not what's inside the house. You look at this government shutdown. We're in the second government shutdown in 6 months. TSA workers are not being paid, working for free again, quitting their jobs, highly stressful, flight delays, planes grounded. People are spending the night in airports in America while we're worrying about what's going on in the Middle East. We need to take care of home first. And it is deplorable on what's going on. Here again, second government shutdown. Trump thinks it's going to be fine. We got to look at, we had issues with Venezuela and kidnapped their president and arrested him. We want to take over Cuba. We got issues with the Mexican cartel. We got all these issues that are permeating outside of the U.S. and we're not worried about what's inside the U.S. We can't even make sure that our airports are doing fine. What in the world is really going on? And those are the things that we have to think about. Don't listen to the propaganda machine, and don't keep your face in front of the dummy box, which is called the TV. It's called television programming and radio programming for a reason. It's the most passive way to get information consciously, subconsciously, and unconsciously to shape your thinking. Keep your thinking independent. So what I love about YouTube and these social media platforms, TikTok and Substack, even Facebook, Instagram, X, where you can have an opinion. This is where people are getting their news today. It's not from those other platforms, from your national CNN, CBS, NBC, ABC anymore. People have a voice and want to say stuff. And that's why the No Kings protest is important. It's part of our First Amendment rights, and we need to elevate, escalate, and utilize those U.S. Constitutional Bill of Rights. Our constitutional rights are amendments that encapsulate our freedom. Here again, this is the Trevor Donald Experience on YouTube. If you like what I'm saying, please like and subscribe and share. I'm always talking about political, legal, pontificating about the issues of the world. I always joke and say I have a PhD in common sense, and more of us need to be aware, alert. We need to manifest our truth in a positive, righteous, and God-fearing way, not self-righteous. Trump is self-righteous. In the Bible, it talks about righteousness all throughout the Bible. It doesn't talk about self-righteousness. And we got to do better. And so in conclusion, where is the hypocrisy in Trump? Gas prices are high. Food prices are high. The CPI is on the rise. The consumer price index, that all affects the middle class. Inflation issues. The middle class is feeling the strain and the burden. Is the American dream real, or is it a fallacy or a nightmare? We have all these issues that are permeating across in a panacea kind of way across our middle class and our lower income folks. And while Donald Trump is trying to cut government waste, government employees, and government excess, he's asking the government to spend more on wars, controversy, military, and issues that are going on outside of America. Will that make America better and healthy again, according to MAGA? I don't think so. We need to stay open and be free-minded individuals, make our own decisions, and we need to hold our politicians and our legislators accountable for the things that they are doing, saying. And if they're not in alignment with your beliefs, the same way you voted them in is the same way you should vote them out. This has been a Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth.